Woman of Brewster Palace definitely didn't, or Place, Brewster Place definitely didn't have
you
that
keep saying
distinction.
Palace.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dell.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
Alright, so today we did another one of those TV miniseries, The
Yes.
Temptations.
Yes. Again, Somethin Real suggested this to us. So, here we are. Yeah, it's along the same lines as a Brewster Place in terms of it being a mini series that's like the length of a movie or so, just like broken up into a couple parts. So, as always, I am DB. Biography of the singers who formed the hit Motown musical act The Temptations. So, yeah.
That said nothing.
Yeah, they gave us nothing.
But alright, I guess as usual, we'll start off with things you liked about this one.
Yes. I
yeah,
can
I
kick
guess-
this one off.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So one of the first scenes I had was the one when My Girl was first released, and you see them on the TV, and then all the parents and family are watching. That was a really nice feel good scene. My Girl's a really good song. Like it doesn't need to be said that the Temptations have amazing music, like obviously, but that was a really nice scene. I really liked that.
Yeah. I think my favorite performance in this one was the New Year's Eve performance of Shout, where they get like called on to do the encore, and then that's when like David Ruffin first joins the band, and they're kind of like just letting everyone in on the stage to kind of sing their parts. Yeah, just like
Yeah,
just really
yeah.
good, like,
Yeah, I remember
musical
that now.
performances. Yeah, but this one just overall had really good musical performances and good like choreography, costume design. So it like it really did feel like you got to like meet the Temptations and like really get to know their music, and you got like a good amount of it, you know.
Yeah, you really did. I liked the performance. I said Copacabana, but I feel as though that's the wrong name. But that performance when David comes late, but he has his new manager change the spotlight so that they see him come in, and then he like just pops up on stage in the. I was like, David, you're a douche, but that's a power move.
Yeah. No, I just had David written down as my favorite character. Just he was the diva
I had
of
a
the
lot
group,
of those.
like,
Yeah.
And it was just fun to watch. I feel like he brought a lot of excitement to this movie, you know.
Yeah, especially because he was more featured, to me at least, in the first part when he first starts like getting too big for his britches, essentially. So I also have the scene where they fire him at the finale. That was a really nice like. That had a lot of gravitas to it when they fire him, and then you like the next scene is him getting the axe essentially from the manager of Motown Records, and then also as soon as the second part started, when he just shows up on the tour after they replace him. I know I was reading the Wikipedia, and they changed quite a few things from the top part of it. A lot of it changed, but boy. And that part, I shouldn't have read that was a thing that was like, known was going to happen. Because it was so dramatic and so good when he was the guy was about to sing and then he took the mic and started singing and said, that was spectacular. Again, if I were on the band, I would have, at least in this movie, I would have been like, that's such a dick. But like, from an audience perspective, you don't think anything's wrong. You just think, oh, drama, like, oh, production, this is so cool. But like, David.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he definitely had those moments. Some great moments. Let's see. I thought this movie was surprisingly funny.
So did I.
Especially kind of in the beginning. Like, it definitely started off funny. Once it got a little more serious, there weren't as many jokes. But, yeah, like, this one just was like, it stayed very lighthearted, I thought, which was good. Because I don't know, this movie could have gotten kind of heavy. Or, like, some of these movies kind of tend to get, like, just heavy and, like, very serious.
Yeah.
But this one definitely had a nice balance of, like, lightheartedness, like, the fun singing, fun times, while still, like, kind of covering some of the, like, real events that happened, you know?
Yeah. I get that. Shout out to my favorite song. Papa Was a Rolling Stone. That scene was great.
Yeah, okay, that was my next point too. That was my next one too.
I will say, the way I was introduced to that song was from watching Scandal, because Shonda Rhimes was in her bag when she makes soundtracks and like adds music to her shows. She is like a literal genius when it comes to adding music to TV. And Papa Was a Rolling Stone on Scandal, awesome scene. Papa Was a Rolling Stone on The Temptations. Like, that song can do no wrong. It's so great, especially because like the intro is very extended and doesn't start when you think it should, but like it starts right on time somehow, and just like, I love that song. I love that scene. Anytime that song is used in any movie, TV show, like, you automatically have a great scene because that's such a great song. Love it.
And I actually like the like blurring thing they did with Paul and his like drunken kind of suicide scene. Like, I really liked how they like paired that with the song and blurred it. So you're like, it's kind of like this like very almost like haunting kind of scene.
It was kind of a little hazy too.
No, I really liked that scene.
Very good.
Did you have anything else for positives?
I also enjoyed the Two Temptations group era. That's just funny to me. How there were so many people who were like ex-Temptations members that they essentially were like, we're still the Temptations, we're gonna sing our song.
Yeah, we got 3 members, they got 3 members.
Let's do it! And of course, and that was at the time when everyone was kind of not doing their best, so it was the old songs that people would have wanted to see from the Temptations. So like, I was on that record, I could go make music with this one song. But I just love that idea. That was so funny to me. And I think you also mentioned it, but I just thought there was some good tension in this movie. While it was mostly lighthearted, there was some good tension between Otis and his bandmates about the way he was essentially running the group. Because it kind of became a thing where it was like group versus person, I guess. Yeah. Because everyone was having their own personal struggles. And he was like, for the good of the band, we're going to cut you out of the band, essentially. But the band was like, hey, how about instead of that, we like just focus on helping our friend instead of like, what's the band done for us? Like, I thought that there was some pretty good tension with that as well.
Yeah. I guess time to get into negatives then.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll kick this one off. Kind of related to it being in Otis's perspective, I thought that made it seem like a lot of the drama did kind of stay in the background, because again, like, he did push that like band before anything else kind of thing, and so at times it felt like the drama wasn't as like focused on in the movie, which made it seem like a little slow at times, especially with a movie like 3 hours long. It did feel like it kind of dragged on a bit, especially with again, like it seemed like there were periods where we were kind of just like show after show after show, and there'd be like some little conflict kind of on the side, but again, it's still like in Otis's perspective, so he's like, okay, it's still about the band, it's still about the music, what's the next thing? So it just felt like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, off of that point, it seemed almost like in a way we were focusing on the most quote unquote boring band member. Because we weren't focusing on the one who was like had a coke addiction or a drug addiction or like who was alcohol abusing or had like 5 kids or what. We were just focusing on the one who was just like, he started the band and he's just trying to keep the band going, and like he's not really, according to this movie, because again on the Wikipedia they said they changed so much, but he wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah, and then, like, especially with the way it worked, is, like, once someone got chaotic, they kind of got kicked out of the band, and you didn't see them as much, so, like, you know, following the band, like, you do miss a little bit of that drama. We still did get a lot of drama with, especially with, like, David's character, I think Paul's character, like, we did get a lot of drama with some of the characters, but, you know, it still kind of felt like, again, we were always kind of, like, viewing the band at its most, like, stable, you know, state, in a sense.
Because he was, like, cutting off the drama at the roots. He was like, nope.
Yeah.
As soon as you were a little messy, you were out.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you got slightly messy, he was like, bye-bye. This, similar to how you felt about The Women of Brewster Place, this one was kind of hard for me because it's a TV movie, so it was meant to be viewed in 2 parts. Yeah. And at least for this one, the only way you could watch it was they, like, actually, however you watched it, it was always split. So, like, after David gets fired, credits roll. Like, no matter how you watch it. Whereas The Women of Brewster Place, the way I saw it, I borrowed it from the library, and they didn't like cut after whatever the first part was, so I don't even know what the first part was of that one. But this one, I definitely enjoyed the first part of this a lot more than the second half.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, after Papa Was a Rolling Stone, it just started to drag for me. I was like, because we kind of got rid of all the people who were doing too much, and we were just with Otis and the band, and they were just kind of like, they'd play a place, and then there'd be like a slight something happening, and then they'd play another place, and then a slight something happened, and then they'd play a place, and it's got kind of repetitive. Like, even though his mom got cancer and his kid died, I was like, we're still not doing anything. Like, we didn't go to, I don't think we went to the mom's funeral. Wait, mom didn't die, just kidding, kid died. I don't think we went to his funeral. And I'm not sure we visited mom as soon as she had cancer. So, we just kind of weren't doing too much.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I like the first half a lot more, too.
What was the name of the guy who had arthritis and then got shot in the leg?
Oh, Blue or Melvin?
Blue.
Melvin?
Yeah, I like Melvin.
Yeah, no, I liked him, too. But, yeah, I definitely agree
That's
with
all.
the first
There's
half
no
being
other point.
Yeah. No, I had it summed up, like, at least with, like, A Woman of Brewster Palace, like, I felt like there was a lot to tell and, like, a lot of story that could have been told. I didn't get the formatting. This one, like, it really did just drag on, and I felt like they didn't know where to end it, or, like, even honestly where to start it, too, because they, like, really started at, like, the beginning, which was nice, but, like, I don't know, like, they're like, they definitely, like, this one, I more felt that it could have been 2 hours, where, like, The Women of Brewster Palace, we walked out like, okay, I could see how this could be a TV show with, like, things running every week. This one, I very much felt like they could have put this into 2 hours and made the exact same movie. Just
I definitely thought that. I was like, we could have cut out some stuff from the beginning. We could have definitely cut out a lot of stuff at the end, just because it just got very repetitive at the end. Like, at least the first part, we were still doing things, and we had the messy members in the band. But then after they left, it was just like, we're just watching people sing now.
And the first half, like, they were still, like, on the come up trying to make it. Once they, like, kind of made it, and it was more like we were just watching the fall off and them just, like, fighting for, like, regular shows, like, halfway filling stadiums. Like, it was like, I guess that is what happened in a sense. Like, that is what happens to groups after they, like, reach their peak, but, like, that's not where the movie needs to end. Like, the movie can end before that. And I think this is one of those things where, like, it was based off, like, the guy's book, like, the Otis guy's book. And I think that, like, also played into it, because I imagine in the book he, like, talks a lot about the emotions he felt during all these various things, but, like, I don't think that was really conveyed in the movie. It was more just, we're watching these scenes. They kind of look the same across the board, especially, like, toward the latter years. So, yeah, it just really felt like it dragged on toward the end.
Yeah. We could have cut this one. We definitely could have cut this one. Yeah. And again, it's hard because it was a TV movie, and it, like, did run in 2 parts. So maybe if we watched it, like, I watched the first part one day and then the second part another day, maybe then I won't feel as though it dragged, because I watched it as, like, 1 3-hour piece, and it definitely felt like after Papa Was a Rolling Stone for me, I was like, why are we still doing things? Like, we could just stop and, like, keep.
I guess also it's kind of during the time, like, this one seemed like it released, like, pretty closely after their, like, reunion tour.
Yeah.
So I imagine the band was, like, I guess still in people's minds and things like that. So it wasn't, like, I guess people, like, the band's still, like, fresh in people's heads, so, like, people might have just been okay sitting there listening to their songs for 90 minutes.
Because that is what it was at the end.
Yeah. But
and they have good songs, so it's not like you were listening to shitty music, but, like,
no, it was, like, great music. Like, it was great listening to, but just, like, from a movie standpoint, it dragged on. But all right, I guess, are we ready for ratings for this one?
Yes, we are.
I guess I'll go first.
Yep.
I will give this one a 2.5. I, like, really enjoyed the music in this one, and I think there was, like, some good drama, especially with David's character. Actually, I'll give it a 3. I'll give this one a 3. I'll bump it up to a 3. I did actually really enjoy, like, the music and, like, the drama, especially, like, the first half. Again, like, the major problem was it did just kind of drag on a lot, which, like, I don't want to hinder because again, like at the time this came out, that was kind of I guess the thing they were doing, these like 2 hour kind of mini series. So I'm gonna try not to like, harp on it too much for the time, but yeah, it was overall like a good watch and like again like great listening to their music. All the performances were good. I thought the acting was pretty good too in this one. Yeah, it was just like it just dragged on like a little too long for me and just felt a little too slow at times and especially toward the end. So yeah, I almost wish like we could do like separate ratings for the two parts, but I don't think I was like thinking that when I was watching it. I was like, but I really enjoyed the first part. The second part definitely was the weaker of the two.
Yeah. I also gave this a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed the movie, the music, and it did what I want a biopic to do, because I think this is essentially a biopic, which just made me want to learn more about the group, especially since, according to the Wikipedia, they changed so much about the story. So that definitely intrigues me. But again, it just like, and it's so hard to say because it is a two-parter and like, but I didn't watch it as a two-parter. So as a not two-parter, this is too long.
Yeah. Like part of it is like I don't think they did like they really utilized that extra hour of movie time, you know? Like
yeah, I think that might be it. Like they had that extra hour and like they didn't know what to do with it, so they were like, we're just gonna show some of our favorite times when they performed, I guess. And it's like that's all well and good, but now we didn't have to.
This definitely could have been a 2 hour. I would even accept like 2 hour 5, 2 hour 10-minute movie. Like and I think part of it is like we've seen like similar like group biopics done in that time span, and like they're able to cover the same amount of information, same amount of time. Just they just get it more concise, you know.
Yeah.
All right, final question. Do you wish you saw this one sooner?
Yeah, before the 5 heartbeats.
Yeah, I was thinking about the 5 heartbeats a little bit too. Like the movie was so weak. Like
I was like,
no, I definitely understand that.
Earlier than that doesn't matter, but just as long as I see it before the 5 heartbeats, I'm good.
I didn't have too many strong reasons to have seen this one earlier. I almost wish I saw the 5 heartbeats later, you know, like or just not at all. Maybe like I feel like it's just not at all for me on the 5 heartbeats because like again I'd take this movie over the 5 heartbeats, and this one was 3 hours.
Yeah,
so like
because again this was based off a real group and it had a little bit. Yeah, the other one, oh my gosh, it's so.
The other one, they made a bad fake drama. Like I don't understand how you do that. Like, but yeah, that was the Temptations, and I think the end of our Something Real suggestions. Unless you have more for us, which we'll definitely do.
I don't know what order. I think I'm gonna try to make this one come out the same week as Brewster Place, just because they're both like long form miniseries. Like fingers crossed, that's what I do. But yeah, this is the last of Something Real suggestions. So thank you so much for suggesting all those movies and miniseries for us. So yeah, if you have it, your parts first. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, YouTube housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. As you can see, we'll do them. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye. The 5 heartbeats one is even more whack. Like, what?
Oh, because, like, how do you make up fake drama that's not dramatic? Like, your one job is to, like, oh, let's make a movie. And, like, you see the template. The template's dramatic. Oh, let's tone this down. Remove this piece of drama. Remove this piece of drama. Let's dumb this down to 3. Like, what are we doing with that movie?
The 5 heartbeats was so whack. Oh, man.
You could have just plagiarized the movie and, like, had something better. Just change the name. Like,
I know.
I don't know how you dropped the ball on that one.
Just basically play this movie again and just, like, and do, like, very bad anime dubbing for everyone's name. So when someone says Otis, you just see their mouth go Otis, but then like they say Heather or like Leonard or something. I don't know.
Man.
Let's do some really bad anime dubbing.